What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. You check out the content. With that being said, man, I'm gonna react to a video, or at least the audio of the situation that went on with Montana Fishburne, right? And it just goes to show like how some women would try to ruin even their fathers, right? And I don't know if it's a hate for men in general, but you know, I don't know what the situation is, right? And so as you probably already know that the Montana Fishburne tried to have a career in adult films, right? Now, immediately, as soon as her father found out about it, he put his foot down. He told her that it was not he didn't it was not good. He did what he wasn't with it, right? So he cut her off immediately, thinking that if he cut her off, used the threat of separating himself from her, then maybe that'll show her that he was serious about it, and he wouldn't maybe that she'd change her mind. But it didn't happen. She went through with it. And the thing about I want to touch on is, like I said, like the evilness of somebody of the women in your life sometimes to bring you down. And I thought about, all right, if she wanted to be in this industry, and she felt like that's what she really wanted to do, she why even use the his name, the last name, right? She tried to bring attention to herself in this industry by using his last name and really just tarnishing the family, uh, the family name, and making his just making his image look bad. I just thought that was an evil thing to do to your father, right? But also the good thing about it is he stood on business, right? He didn't compromise. Now, I don't know if in this video or this audio that I'm gonna play, they spoke about like he didn't approve at all. Whereas though her mother, his ex-wife, I think that was his first wife, her mother was like supportive of her, which is crazy. Even people in the industry told her that, like, you don't have to do this. Um, why would you do this? And they tried to warn her against this. They told her that it's not, it's silly. So let me play the audio. Then I'm gonna come back and give some input.
The daughter of Oscar nominated actor Laurence Fishburne has been making tabloid headlines for all the wrong reasons. From a controversial adult tape to assorted legal woes, Montana Fishburne's admitted aspirations for Kim Kardashian style success have turned tragic instead. Let's take a closer look. When Montana made headlines in 2010 for breaking into the entertainment industry, it probably wasn't what her Oscar nominated dad had in mind. Montana told The Hollywood Reporter, "After I turned 18, I started to seriously think about the best way for me to enter the business. I was impressed with Kim Kardashian's success after her tape was released by Vivid and decided to call the company to see if I could arrange a meeting." The result was a video called Montana Fishburne, an A-list daughter makes her XXX debut. Over the years, Kardashian has said that she regrets her sex tape.
I'm definitely not grateful for that experience. I would say if I had one regret, that would be it.
But Montana is proud of hers. She told People, "Being in an adult film is not a big deal to me. It's something I always wanted to do. I have always been comfortable in my body and with my sexuality." Montana was comfortable with her choice, but she told The Hollywood Reporter that her parents felt differently. Her father reportedly told her he was embarrassed by her, and her mother didn't want her to, quote, get dragged into the dark side of porn. Montana told People, "Eventually, I hope my father will be proud of me."
We are two separate people, and I think because he's had such a long, successful career and he is so respected, my action should have nothing to do with him.
All right. And so let me address that, right? So she said because he's had a long career and her actions shouldn't have anything to do with him. But I think that, like, as you do have your own life to live, right? But as a daughter, you also have a responsibility to your family. And I think the father has a responsibility to the family. Like, it's no matter what your station is in the family, like you don't have the right to bring shame on a family. And so you can't say, in my opinion, you can't say that because I have my own life that you can bring, that gives you the right to bring the family name down. Like I said in the beginning, um, she even used the family name. So she used the family name, his name, Fishburne, in order to advertise and promote that that video. So she didn't care about the work that he had put into the industry, which I think is just evil. Like he worked all his life to build his reputation, and then she wants to go out and make a movie. I think it's just evil and selfish, right? Um, and I don't think that when people live like this and do things like this, I don't think they really gonna have. I think karma, I believe in karma, so and I don't think you can have a lot of luck when you do things like this. When you look at life this way with such a selfish outlook, I just think a lot of times people like that, you just have to leave them alone and let them just. I think they'll eventually just spiral out of control, because they think that the world revolves around them, and they're so selfish, not realizing that in this world you need people and you need the cooperation of people if you want to be successful, right? And so they eventually just they just spiral out of control. So let me play some more of this audio.
According to TMZ, Montana was charged with battery because she allegedly, quote, beat the hell out of her boyfriend's ex in 2010. E! News reported that Montana was arrested for breaking into the victim's home and beating her up. According to Today, Montana was represented by celebrity attorney Sean Hawley, who has overseen cases for Lindsay Lohan, Justin Bieber, and Kanye West. She pleaded no contest to assault with a deadly weapon and trespassing. She was reportedly ordered to pay $9,000 in restitution to the victim, placed on 3 years probation, and sentenced to 90 days in jail. Sadly, Montana's filmography also includes a DUI arrest video. According to the Miami Herald, she was pulled over in March 2017 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, after she allegedly rear-ended a vehicle that had slowed down to avoid a previous crash. After Florida Highway Patrol arrived to the scene, Montana hopped the interstate's guardrail to pop a squat as traffic whizzed by. The Miami Herald reported that Montana blew more than twice Florida's legal limit in a breathalyzer test. She never dropped her famous dad's name, but she did try to work her charm, reportedly telling the trooper, "Honestly, I'm more upset about not being able to spend the night in my bed. Can't you just escort me home?" Lauren.
See, and that's the thing, like, and she just want to drop and throw around the name and benefit from having a name, but not respecting the name and representing the name in a respectful way. So, like the selfishness, like I said, it's just crazy. Now, the good thing about it is, as Laurence Fishburne just stood on business, like, and he have another daughter who they showed him on, at different movie premieres and red carpets and stuff like that, right? And so that's what you have to do, man. Like, people in your life who respect you, and people in your life who honor you, those are the people that you keep in your life, and those are the people who you reward. And somebody like this who don't, you do what he do. You just separate yourself from that person, and you allow them to go ahead and live their own life and make their own mistakes. And so, that I think that's a good example of somebody who, like I said, just standing on business and not allowing somebody to constantly be in your life and cause stress and be a distraction, and the public will see her. They'll still see her as his daughter, but they'll separate the two, right? And she won't be able to, fall back on that name because he's no longer supporting her, right? And so that's, I think it's a good example for him to other people to just separate yourself, even if it's family. Sometimes you have to do that. You have to separate yourself from family, because families can be, family members can be the ones who take you down or hit you the hardest when it comes to, situations like this, and expect you to get over it and back them up, right? So, yeah, I think it's a good example that this, that Lawrence Fishburne, like I said, stood on business. And if you look at him and his other daughter, he spends a lot of time with his daughter. Like I said, she's at movie premieres and stuff like that. And I'm sure he probably do a lot of, do a lot of things that's benefiting his other daughter's life. Whereas though this other, Montana is really just cheating herself in the long run. She'll probably like about as she might mature later on and then come back and want to make amends and stuff like that. But what's done is done. Once somebody tried to ruin your reputation and ruin a family name, you can forgive, but you definitely should not forget and then handle them at arm's length, right? So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.